This is Johnny Depp, and we're here in Hollywood, California, downtown Hollywood, California, and we're shooting a film called Ed Wood. Tim Burton's the director, and he's directing the film, and meet, and Tim's a swell guy.
Can your heart stand the shocking facts of the true story of Edward D. Wood, Jr.?
Ed Wood, Tim Burton's 1994 biopic about the low-budget director, is an extremely underappreciated work, partly because it is a departure from Burton's characteristic fare. Burton, arguably one of the great directors of all time, known more for his gothic or macabre style, produced a film about a man who has been deemed the worst director of all time. Screenwriters Scott Alexander and Larry Karaszewski rightly noted that, at the time, neither Orson Welles nor Alfred Hitchcock had a biopic, and asked, so why Ed Wood? After the Medvets crowned him the worst director in 1980, Ed Wood suddenly became a phenomenon not as a legendary director, but whose work is so bad it's good. The empathetic screenplay portrays Wood as an anti-great man, that is, a loser who can never get things right but in the end root for Wood rather than to pity him. The script was produced in a time when the screenwriters were unemployed. Burton was quoted as saying that he could see himself becoming an Ed Wood, as seen here. At first glance, this film seems like Burton is stepping out of his comfort zone, but there are a lot of parallels between Ed Wood and Tim Burton's lives. For instance, they both had a horror movie idol. Wood's was Bela Lugosi and Burton's was Vincent Price. They have both made monster and UFO films. Wood's was Plan 9 from Outer Space. Inspired by this film, Burton produced Mars Attacks in 1996. Burton was able to muster enough clout in Hollywood to make this film after the spectacular success of Batman. This film was his attempt to revive trash cinema, which are movies made outside of mainstream Hollywood. Because Burton makes eccentric movies himself, it is not surprising that he would delve into the unconventional wing of filmmakers. In fact, Burton was merely looking at another auteur, not unlike himself. Latham suggests that Ed Wood is a biopic that is as much about Burton as it is about Ed Wood. This film is an unusual biopic because it doesn't depict Wood's life from birth to death. The story only covers 5 years, the period that Ed was actually famous for. The movie is a backstage or a film about a film plot that follows Wood as he makes a few of his quote-unquote notable films, like Glen or Glenda from 1953 and Bride of the Monster from 1955. But mostly it is about the making of his most storied release, Plan 9 from Outer Space from 1959. This was a small movie with a small budget of $18 million, but was more than 200 times any Ed Wood budget. Burton's insistence to film in black and white initially made the film undesirable to major studios. Burton did it to convey the low-budget aspects of Wood's films and reportedly not wanting to figure out the color of Bela Lugosi's eyes. But this works given both the idea of maintaining the low-budget quality to Wood's films and to recreate a 1950s feel. Despite the humorous missteps Wood made during his career, the film shows them as an affectionate homage to the director's quirkiness. The friendship and relationship between Ed Wood and Bela Lugosi were particularly poignant. When Lugosi died later in the film, it became the saddest moment in the entire film because Ed lost his closest friend. The film is campy and goofy sometimes because it feels like Johnny Depp as Ed Wood is winking at the audience because of the film's absurdity. The women in the film are incidental to the relationship between Wood and Lugosi, and indeed, when Depp dresses as a woman in various scenes, it is hard to turn away or even try to pay attention to the women in the room. The notable exception was Patricia Arquette, who played Wood's second wife. Whether it was the intention or not, she was able to take his quirkiness and make him appear at least somewhat normal even as he continued his transvestite habit. Memorable scenes were when Wood charms and persuades people to fund him, like getting baptized for financing or persuading Vampira, a washed-up local LA TV show host, to be in his movie. The most captivating parts of the film are the film stagings. One sequence in particular is when Bela Lugosi is wrestling with a rubber octopus in Bride of the Monster. It's obvious to the audience that Ed Wood's initial plan to film the octopus was going wrong, but Lugosi demonstrates his professionalism by making the scene work. Another example is during the shoot of a recreated scene from Clan 9 when the two police characters trip in the graveyard and clumsily knock over a couple of cardboard headstones. The final scene lets the audience see how low-tech Wood's props were, as Burton did not shy away from showing that the spaceships in the end were nothing more than pie plates, thus holding true to the original movie. There are a lot of reasons to take the time to view this film. It is a delightful romp through the world of 1950s B films. The performances of Johnny Depp as Ed Wood and Martin Landau as Bela Lugosi are worth the price of admission alone. Depp exudes a childish enthusiasm that is infectious, and Landau does a marvelous portrayal of the downtrodden Bela Lugosi at the end of his life. Those who like Wood's eccentricity will find this movie extremely entertaining. It also offers a rare look at Hollywood's seedy fringe filmmaking that is not often, if at all, shown in mainstream films.